I don't have it up on my tripod because it's too much work to put up, so I put it by the window. You guys, so basically I was watching TikTok videos and I got really emotional watching some of the videos about Christmas and how some moms don't get gifts and stuff like that. And it really got me so sad, and like it got me thinking. So I'm not married, but I have a child and I'm the second oldest in my family, but it feels like I'm the oldest. So I feel that I've always been the one that like makes a big deal out of holidays, and I'm the one that like will try to, why am I getting teary-eyed? And I feel like if I don't put in the effort, it doesn't happen. Like I will make sure there's a Christmas tree. I will make sure that people get presents. And like when I was making more money, I would make sure I buy everyone Christmas gifts. And like back in the days, because I was like a teen mom, there was like programs that you can sign up for your family to like get gifts and things like that. So like sometimes I did that just to make sure every Christmas everyone was getting what they needed and wanted. So the reason why I'm sharing this bit is because being from like an immigrant family, I feel like Christmas isn't necessarily materials as it is just about Christ. Let me not say it that way, but the way that I grew up, the way that I was brought up, it was like about family and everything. Nevertheless, you come here. So growing up, I always remembered being younger because my parents weren't really like the type to be like, oh, let's just buy a bunch of Christmas presents. It was like Christmas, you dress up, you look pretty, you go to church, like, you know, we eat, we have family and and like that's just the way it's always been. It wasn't a big deal. But you didn't realize how much it had an impact on you until you go to school. So like when we'd go to, like when I was like in elementary school, when I'd go to school, it'd be very apparent how different our lives were at that point, because you would have kids telling you, oh yeah, I got the new whatever, I got the box of this and and like we went away to Hawaii for Christmas and like all this stuff, and you're just thinking, I got an outfit, you know what I mean? Which like you're grateful, but there's this thing that feels like it's missing, right? And sometimes I lied, like when the teachers would ask us about what we did over the Christmas holidays, where we went, what we got, I would lie. Like I would just like make up a story and whatever to make it sound like life was bussin', and all of that. And I just remember thinking to myself, I never want my family or my siblings to feel that way. Not that my parents didn't put an emphasis on it. Like they'll give cash and things like that, and like they'll buy whatever if they know that you need something, like if you needed a laptop for school or whatever, or like a phone, things like that, you know what I mean? But like, it wasn't ever like a let's put up a Christmas tree and let's decorate it and let's make it feel like Christmas and It wasn't like that. So I took it upon myself from the time that I could remember to always make that happen, so that my siblings never felt the way that I did growing up, and that my daughter never felt that way too. And when I was watching these videos, you guys, on TikTok, of these ladies saying how when Christmas would come around, they would go all out for their families. Like they would buy their kids all these amazing, why am I choking up? They would buy their children all these amazing things, and like they would fill their husband's stockings and like making sure everyone's taken care of. And then when it came time to open presents, they didn't have anything in their stocking, or like they just were forgotten. Y'all, let me tell you that like that hit so home for me. And not even like that, like I think to myself, if I got married, okay, when I get married, and God forbid, like knock on wood, but if I got married to a man who forgot me, I would be devastated, you guys, because I feel like marriage for me is going to be my chance to be getting put first. I know that sounds crazy, but like I feel like being like the oldest, in your family, you're always going to be like a second mom. So like your needs will always come last. I don't care what anybody says. Like I try to make sure everyone is feeling special on like their birthdays. If I have money, like I'm choking up, but I think for me, like I realize how much it's so important that I marry a good man who really thinks about my needs and makes sure that I'm taken care of, because my whole life I've been taking care of other people. My whole life I've been making sure that everyone's needs are met. You know, I'm like a second parent to my siblings, but I also feel like I'm a parent to my parents. Not because they're neglectful or anything, but it's like I feel like sometimes because I'm the first, I'm the second oldest, but like around the time when they're still figuring out themselves, it's like I'm growing up with them, so I'm witnessing their lives and the things that they're sacrificing to making sure that their families are okay. So I'm always trying to think about them, like what can I do to make sure that their life is easier, what can I do to make sure that they're happy, what can I do, da 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 da. So it's like you have that portion, but then you're also like a second parent, so it's like you're taking care of your siblings, checking in on them and making sure that they are okay and that they're taken care of. So in that equation, in that family dynamic, you really kind of get lost. You know, you're not really a priority. Your needs are not a priority, and you learn to be okay with that. So I guess for me, when I'm thinking, when I finally have a family of my own, when I finally have a husband, I don't ever want to not, like, I don't ever want to feel like my needs are not being met. I don't ever want to feel like I'm being forgotten, or that I'm the one that's taking care of people and that I'm okay with it. Like, I want to be taken care of. I want gifts in my stockings. I want presents under the tree with my name on it that I don't know what's inside. Like, I want that. You know, I want somebody to throw me a surprise birthday. Oh my God. I want somebody to make a big deal about my birthday and not me being like, okay, you know, let's go out for dinner for my birthday and like all that. Like, I want that for myself. So watching that video and hearing a lot of women share stories about like, oh yeah, my husband never buys me anything for Christmas or my birthday. I always say, oh, I don't want anything. And really, like, for 10 years, he's never bought anything. And some lady said, oh, until her kids were getting older, she never got anything until they kind of clued into the fact that she never got anything. And I'm reading these things and I'm just, my heart is like shattered, because I'm like, oh my gosh, if this is what everyone's going through, then I am doomed. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, I am doomed if this is like the outcome. I mean, I read like 2 to 3 comments of some lady saying like, no, you know, my husband makes me a priority and like whatever. And I'm just like, okay, we thank God for that, you know. But I don't, you know what, it just clued in. And the reason I'm making this video is because I'm pretty sure there are people who can relate to me. I didn't realize how important it would be for me to end up in a marriage where I am showered, adored, and made a priority. Like, I didn't realize how much that was so important to me until I was watching that video and thinking, I want somebody to get excited about getting gifts for me the way I do for everyone else. I want somebody to get excited about my birthday and taking me out and surprising me the way that I like to try for other people. You know, I want to be thought about. Yeah. And you know, the funny thing about it, and now I realize why I'm like this. So I used to get really, it's weird, like I get choked up when somebody's like for example, I used to work in an office, and whenever my friends would pass by, they'd be like, hey, I got you a coffee. You like it with like 1 sugar, 1 cream, right? Or you like it with this way and that way, right? And there's something about somebody thinking about me in their day, throughout their day, doing whatever it is that they're doing, and Like, there's something about it that literally pulls at my heartstring, or when somebody buys me a present being like, hey Maddie, I saw this and it just made me think of you. Like, I literally get so teary, you guys, and I realize now where that comes from. It's just like, I want that. And don't get me wrong, like, I take such good care of myself. Like, I put myself first a lot of the times, and you have to. Otherwise, you're going to be depleted and you're going to be running on empty. So I like to take care of myself. I like to buy myself nice things. I like to get my hair done. I like to do my nails. I like to go get my lashes done. I like to do self-care and things like that, and buy myself things that I like. But it just hits different when somebody does it for you. And this is not to say that I've never been showered or loved or anything. I'm just saying, when my time comes and I'm ready to be in a marriage, that's what I require. It's a necessity. It's a necessity for me. Yeah. Anyways, there goes my little blurb. If you can relate, please comment below.